Wow, 4 years ago today, I had my gender reassignment surgery. It's just crazy. Here comes the log. Okay, so it's been 4 years today since I had my gender reassignment surgery. I thought it would be a good time to do a vlog, but you know what? I couldn't really think of stuff to say, so I'm just gonna kind of just talk about my whole experience, and just say how it goes, where it goes. If you're watching this, then I think it's safe to presume that I was happy with the content and I've put it out. So yeah, 4 years today that I had my gender reassignment surgery. That's crazy. Time's gone so fast. What does sound nice though is the fact that I can say 4 years post-op. I've been post-op for 4 years, and when I used to talk to all the girls and the women who I spoke to before I had my op, and they used to say they were post-op, I just never ever thought I would ever get there. I never ever thought I would be brave enough to take that plunge, because whoa, it's a big step, very big step. And I've never looked back. If anything, my life, me as a person, my life is 10 times it was when I was male. If I'm being honest, it's just that simple. I've touched on it in previous videos where, I've got a lot to thank work for and so on, and I have, and I'm not going to harp on about that again. But I think this video needs to be just more about the operation week, because that's what we're celebrating. So 4 years today was when I became the person who you're looking at now. I was already there emotionally, but there was a couple of changes that needed to happen. But I remember it. I've been looking at some of my memories, and I'm going to put some of my posts from Facebook and so on, some of my pictures over here as well for you to have a look at. But just some of the memories that I've got from that day. I remember there was no ounce of nerves in me. It was purely because it was just something that I wanted so bad. So why should I be? Well, I wasn't scared, because why should I be scared for something that I want so bad? I was a little bit anxious, but that was more because of having an operation. I'd never had one before, so it wasn't about having the op, it was just about having a op. So, I was a bit anxious about that, but I was just so excited. I just wanted it to happen. I mean, I'm quite an impatient person anyway, so I just wanted the day to happen. I remember I was super cool and calm in the car. I got there, sat in the initial reception. I filled out a form. It may have been some sort of consent form or something like that, if I recall. I don't remember too much about that. I don't know whether it's just because the hype of the day has got the better of me, But I remember being taken to my room. I'm going to leave some images here now of my room, and the first thing that we kind of thought was, wow, how nice the room was. It was very private. And before I forget, actually, I want to say, so the hospital I went to and I had my surgery, it was at Parkside Hospital in Wimbledon. So it was funded by the amazing NHS, but it was done in a private hospital. I had a phone call 2 or 3 months before at work, and they asked if I was happy enough to have my treatment kind of transferred over to a private hospital. And of course, because it meant I was going to get it a lot sooner than what I would have if I'd have just stayed at Charing Cross Hospital. So of course I just jumped at that. I didn't really give it any thought about what the hospital was like or anything like that. I just done it. I just went for it. Who wouldn't? And it was just amazing. So we get into the room. I remember sitting down. I was then told to put my my sexy gown on. Yeah, and that's when it started to kind of felt real. I had a hospital gown on. I've been to hospital millions of times, but for other people, not for me. So it was unusual to be sitting on the bed as opposed to on the side of it. I remember Dawn having a meltdown at that time because the telly didn't work, and Dawn loves her telly. So that was like, wow. Everyone was running around trying to fix his telly for Dawn, because that was the important part of the day, obviously. Nothing to do with me. It was whether the telly worked. I remember we was just then in for a very long wait. Excuse me. If I recall, I think they said I was third on the list, and if I recall, that was about 2:30 in the afternoon. And I think I went down around about 4:30, 5. Time went quick. I remember doing a small vlog. Although it wasn't really a vlog then, because I wasn't vlogging as such then. It was just a video. So here's that video now that I recorded. Everybody, just thought I'd do a very quick vlog, just to say that I'm all settled in. I've got my sexy gown on, my sexy stockings on. I'm just waiting to be seen now by Dr. Bellringer. Just wanted to say a massive thank you to all of your lovely supportive messages that you've all been sending me. I really do appreciate every single one, so I just wanted to say thank you so much for that. Nerves, not really at the moment, kind of mixed. It's a bit strange that I'm actually here after all these months, after all these years of waiting. Never been in hospital before, so it's a bit strange for me to actually be this side of the hospital bed. It's a bit weird, but it's all good. I'm really, really excited, nervous. Dawn's having a bit of a breakdown now because the telly's not working, so we need to get that sorted. So I can just show you my room quickly. There's Dawn. Hello, Dawn. Dawn's on the phone. There's the telly that don't work. So yeah, so this is us in my room. Should be here for about 6 or 7 nights, give or take, just depending on how I go after my surgery. So just want to say thank you all again. Love you all loads. Thank you all once again for all your fantastic and wonderful messages. I appreciate everyone. And I'll speak to you all once I come round after my op. Take care and speak to you soon. Bye. So that was me. Watching that back, I appear to be a little bit croaky. I think that was more nerves because I was doing a video. The nerves of having the op, or that I was pretty close at that stage, or I thought I was, to actually going down and having that surgery. I remember we was both taking it in our stride, and by this point as well, the telly was working, although Dawn wasn't watching it. But what's her name? And I remember having a couple of procedures. I think, if I recall, I had to have a barium enema, barium meal, I think it was, which was grim. That was just to flush out my system, basically. That wasn't very pleasant. And when they come and got me, I had the option to go down in my bed or walk. I just wanted to walk. I didn't have any reason to go down in my bed. Yes, I could have soaked it up, but there was no point. I remember me and Dawn getting in the lift. We walked down. Dawn was a little bit of a basket case at this stage because she was just so nervous, because obviously, as with all ops, things can go wrong. And an op this big, things could go very wrong. And my surgeon, anyway, was Tina Rashid. It was amazing. I hadn't met her before. My doctor or surgeon was always going to be Dr. Bellringer, but it was kind of switched at the last minute. I didn't mind, because at the end of the day, I just wanted it to happen. So anyway, I remember I remember coming out the lift, and then we walked into the anaesthetist room. Dawn was proper shaking. I was a little bit anxious at this stage because I was going into the anaesthetist room and I didn't really know what that entailed, because I was very kind of, I just didn't know what to expect. So I remember sitting down on the bed. I remember having a few wires put on me, stuff like that, if I recall. And then I remember the anaesthetist coming up to me and he says, right, I'm now going to administer that. If I recall, I think he asked me to count back from 10. I only recall getting to number 4, and then I was gone, out of it. My next memory was when I come round. I come round in the recovery room, and man, did I feel rough. So I've got a couple of photos which I'll pop on the screen now of what I look like then, and yeah, I look rough. At this stage though, I'd still got my makeup on. I was allowed to keep a full makeup, which was brilliant because I was really nervous about that. So yeah, I remember, I think the next bit I don't remember a fat lot about because I was groggy and that, obviously. What I do remember was them coming in and asking me if I wanted morphine. The morphine was there. The pain at times was like, it was painful, very painful. And I didn't think the morphine was doing an awful lot, but Dawn made the point of, just imagine how much my pain would have been if I wasn't squeezing that little button to get my morphine. So yeah, she's probably right. It probably would have been 10 times worse. I didn't use it an awful lot. I think I only used it about 3 or 4 times, and then I felt like I was okay. I remember throwing up. I was very, very sick. Again, only twice I think it was. But whoa, it was a lot of sick. And then I must admit, my next memories was kind of when I'd come round fully, and I was sitting up, and I think I was ready to eat and drink. Or I was ready to drink. I don't think I ate for a while. In terms of food, oh my God, the food at that place was just unbelievable. I've never ate so well. In the 6 nights I was there, I've never ate so well. Yeah, honestly, the food was amazing. I'm going to put some images of the food up now. Whoa, I miss that food. But at the end of it though, I was proper like full. I was fooded out, had enough. As amazing as it was just too much, too regular, too much, all day, every day. And it was like, yeah, it was a lot, but it was amazing stuff, amazing food. I think the next kind of memory I want to talk about was when, because at this stage I had an excruciatingly tight binding across me, and obviously down in my lower region. I was totally binded, couldn't see anything. It was almost like tape, but it was wrapped around incredibly tight. And it was like, wow, I couldn't move. I had a catheter on at this stage. I remember when, I can't honestly remember how long it was before I had that taken off. I think that was on for a couple of days, if I recall. I remember Dr. Bellringer coming in, 2 nurses I think it was, and they said, like, it's time for the reveal. It's time to take off the binding, which hurt in its own right, the binding did. I remember at this stage, me and Dawn was probably the most nervous we've ever been, because we didn't know. We had no idea what it was gonna look like. We expected it to look like a car crash. To be honest, we expected it to look bruised, red, not very nice to look at. And I will never ever forget at this stage, I will never forget Dawn's face when it was almost like, as they pulled off the binding, it was almost like it was moulded to my body shape. It was almost like a plaster of Paris thing coming off. So as they lifted off the whole thing and then kind of revealed it, obviously Dawn was the first person to see it. And Dawn's face was like, wow. You know, just because of it just, you know, I looked perfect. There was no bruising. There was no. It just looked how it should have looked, you know, and it was a bit like, that's a bit weird. I've just had major surgery. Surely that should have looked worse than what it did. It did start to look a bit worse a few days later. The bruising come out, although I only had a tiny bit of bruising, just below my belly button, really. It went yellow for a few days, and that was about it. I remember. So I just had gender reassignment surgery, right? But the thing that hurt me the most the entire week, well, no, it wasn't. Up until now, the thing that hurt me the most was having the catheter removed. Oh, that hurt. It was a very, very quick pain. But whoa, it was very, very painful as well. Very painful. I remember having injections in my stomach, blood thinners, I think it was, if I recall. They hurt. Not the actual needle itself didn't hurt, but it just really stings. Really stings. My next kind of memory after that was I was very gingerly on my feet, like very gingerly, and I remember, I think it was about the 4th, 5th day, I could actually get up and attempt to have a bit of a shower. Again, I could barely walk. I was on my own at this stage. And I remember I went to the toilet on my own for the first time. And that was pretty surreal. But as I walked into the bathroom and I stood in the bath just to not have a proper full-on shower, but just to kind of rinse myself off. And there was like a mirror directly opposite the bath. And I remember just catching a glimpse of my new body for the very first time. You know, like a full body. You know, I saw it when the reveal happened, because they obviously had a small mirror there, but I could only see it so well. But this was a proper glimpse of myself, and I remember I just broke down in floods of tears. Just broke down. It was tears of joy. You know, believe me, that was probably the most. I've got goosebumps now. Just don't know if you can see them. Can you see them? A bit too close. But that was the most surreal time of my life, because all of a sudden, oh God, I've got to try and find these goosebumps. Can you see them? No, too close. Okay, but yeah, I remember it was just the most surreal time of my life. I saw this body that I'd craved, that needed to come out of me, you know, for all those years. And I finally had it, and I could see it. And it was a little bit of, I don't want to swear, but it was a little bit of a mind beep. You know, but it was amazing. It was amazing. The next and last memory really that I kind of want to talk about, because after that it was just kind of recovering. I had one day which was a Saturday if I recall, and I had two friends come to see me, Sean and Andy, come to see me. They travelled a long way to come to see me, and I was really ill that day. I felt so ill, so ill. That whole day was kind of ruined, and you know, them coming to visit me was, I suppose it was great for them, and it was great for me to a certain extent, but I just felt so ill. And at one stage I just like, leave me alone, I need to sleep, I need to be sick, leave me alone. It was like that. Then the rest of the memories just kind of recovering, but I do remember I had to start to dilate as well. I remember the nurse coming in, 2 dilators, and that was painful. That was scary. I was scared to do that purely because of just how I felt down below. It just felt so incredibly sore, and incredibly tight, in terms of it felt like I still had the binding on almost. That's how it felt. So I was really scared. I was scared to do that. Obviously, the nurse stayed with me for the first time that I'd done it. It was very painful, very painful. And then I just had to do that then every morning. I think I had to do that 3 times a day at that stage. Can't quite remember, to be honest. But then I was just focusing on coming home and recovering at home. So I think I've captured the different kind of stages of recovery and memory that I had in that week. I remember my day I was going home, it felt amazing because I woke up and the first thing that I thought of or I could think of was McDonald's. I wanted to go to McDonald's because even though I'd had this amazing hospital food, I missed my junk food. So it's like just getting back to normal. It was crazy, really weird, really strange. But it was the first day that I actually put on makeup as well. So, I was feeling even though my recovery was going, exceptionally well, and it did, as a whole, it did go exceptionally well, I was incredibly kind of weak. And I remember putting makeup on. It wasn't like a full face, but it was just enough to make me presentable, so I could leave the hospital without feeling kind of paranoid and stuff. But just being out in the open world was amazing. It'd be quite nice to feel that now, actually. But I remember we pulled the car around right by the front door, got in the car. But at this stage, I was just really excited. I'd missed home. I'd only been away from home for 6 nights, if I recall. But I'd missed home. I just wanted my own bed, my own comforts. So wow. And then I got home, had my McDonald's. I got home and then started the recovery phase as well. I'm not going to harp on any more about that. I might do another video on my recovery phase. How long it kind of went on for, what the process was. So I might do another video. I don't know yet. Which will document the recovery phase at home in a bit more detail. But yeah, so I've been talking now for 21 minutes. 4 years post-op. It's amazing. It really is amazing. I'm gonna have a bit of a drink tonight, just to celebrate, because do you know what? 4 years now. I'm 46, 47 this month. But part of me is only 4 years old. And that's mad. Like, I just never thought I would ever get to this stage. Never thought I'd become the person who I am today, if I'm being honest. I thought I'd be trapped. I don't know. I didn't even know if I was going to make it at one stage. But I'm not going to go all doom and gloom. But yeah, 4 years today, post-op. Couldn't be happier if I tried. Could not be happier, with how I look, everything about my transition. I couldn't be happier. So I'm going to leave it and call it a day there. I hope this video has been insightful. If anyone watching this who's going through something similar has got any questions for me, then please feel free to ask me anything. I'm very, very open. If you want me to do it in one-to-one format, private, do a vlog, I'll do it however way that you want. But if anyone is watching this has got questions about my transition, about the hospital, the operation, the recovery, anything at all, then please drop me a comment down below or send me a private message, and I'll reply to it. I just want to say thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching today's vlog. Hope you've all enjoyed it. Please leave a comment down below. Please give the video a thumbs up, thumbs down if you didn't like it, or if you didn't like something about it. You know, because I am interested in hearing the bad stuff as well as the good as well. But if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Please help keep the channel alive. I appreciate every single one. I've hit my 250 subscribers now, which I'm like incredibly pleased about, but I want more. I'm getting greedy. I want more. So I'm going to leave it there, and thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'm going to see you all very soon with Vlogging with Melody-mae. See you all soon.